Morning. I'd like to call the executive committee meeting for Tuesday, February 28th to order. If we can get a roll call, please.
Mr. Hess, Ms. Polk, Ms. Weber,
Present.
Ms. Weber,
Present.
Ms. Parker,
Present.
Mr. Fairfield, Mr. Seroy, Mr. Carrico, Mr. Featherling, Mr. Miller, Mr. Long, Mr. Eckhoff, Mr. Hunter, Ms. Foster, Mr. Wheeler,
Present.
Mr. Alexander Hildebrand.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Can I get a motion to admit Ms. Parker and Mrs. Weber to the meeting? Mr. Eckhoff, second. Mr. Long, all those in favor say aye.
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 Alrighty, thank you. Any public comment today? I don't have any up here. All right, approval of minutes, January 24th, 2023. Is there a motion there? Mr. Featherling, Mr. Hunter with a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Like a hot knife through butter. Moving along. I have nothing on legislative right now. I probably could, but we have been really busy with the social program stuff that we're going to have in the finance committee meeting. So there are a lot of bills floating around down there, about 7 times as many shell bills as there are bills, I think. So expect more to be coming very quickly. So maybe by next executive committee, we'll have a good idea what has legs and what's going to die in committee. Mr. Hunter?
Thank you very much. Chad, could you speak to the solar stuff that we discussed at the Farm Bureau thing? And I know some of us have had some discussions regarding the solar legislation that he's proposed.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Hunter. House Bill 4412 that was passed and signed in January limits authority of the county to have any sort of decision making in the siting of solar and wind developments. There's efforts to fix that. There's also shortcomings when it comes to Illinois drainage law. There's many reasons why there are to oppose that House Bill 4412. So fixes are in the works. Any other details that you were seeking, or is that good? Okay. Special thanks to Senator Patrick Joyce for carrying that trailer bill forward to help fix that House Bill 4412. And then there's some efforts in the House as well that we'd like to thank those for their efforts.
The one in the House, when I was down there last week, the one in the House is more, I guess, targeted. It's not that Patrick Joyce did a bad job with it, but he got a bill out there in the Senate. But the House one is actually drills down into things that Dell and I, that list of problems, drainage districts, EcoCat, everything that you look at is that is a local control item. I mean, specific to the neighbors across the street type of control or input. The House bill looks to be the one that is actually what they hope to get picked up. So I wish I had more information on it right now, but it hasn't been called to this point.
Sure.
So, all right. Great. Any other questions, Mr. Featherling?
We don't have a time frame on that.
However, I mean, it could be passed before we even come back to this next meeting next month.
What happens in the meantime?
Oh, it's law right now. It's public. Yeah, we have 120 days, but Dell, I believe, to change our ordinances. That's one of the reasons it'll go in front of, it has to go to ZBA first with our change in the ordinance, which is basically adopting the state standards, have to be ours. We can have nothing more strict than the state standards. So we have ZBA, then PZA, then full board, but it all has to be completed in 120 days. Am I correct on that, Dell?
Yes.
Okay. So we had talked about why, if the public has no input, why would we send letters and have public comment and public hearings? All we're going to do is make people mad because we have to do what the state tells us to do. So if we permit it by right, then we don't have to anger people into a process that means nothing. Does that make sense? And it's costly. It would be just frustrating to somebody to think that they can stand up in front of a microphone and say, this injures me and my property because of X, Y, and Z, when we can't even take it into consideration. That's where a lot of people have a problem. And then the drainage districts are in the same position. So we probably will do, if this stands the way that it is, wind and solar by right. And then we just get involved on the design and the permitting side of things as far as the building side. So people still are protected by what our standards are on engineering and drainage, but up until that point, I mean, you might not even know until we permit it for actual build. Is that correct, Del? Correct. I mean, that's that people in you know, they may not know that there's a solar farm going in across the street from their house until a permit is released by the county for the construction.
Right.
That's fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, actually, until the trucks are rolling and dirt's being moved, most likely the neighborhood would not know about it.
Yeah, that's, I know why they did this law. I don't agree with the execution.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there were counties that were saying like quarter-mile setbacks is a way to stop solar and wind development. So however you feel about the issue, that's what they were combating, or counties saying we're not going to permit any solar or wind. Unfortunately, I think it was designed by people who don't know what drainage districts are, to be honest. Del, go ahead.
Yeah, or drainage law.
Drainage law. Yeah, it conflicts with the current law that's on the books.
Conflicts with many laws, such as the Natural Resource Inventory Report law. It fell very short. I understand what they were trying to do. In a lot of cases, it makes sense, and there's a few parts of it that are actually better.
I would agree.
But it fell very short and needs to be fixed.
Yeah. So hopefully they will.
Another quick one. How are we gonna fall on fees then for planning departments? Is that gonna cut into the budget down there, or are we still gonna have the permit fees?
Well,
The zoning fee itself isn't that much. I don't think, not, you know,
that's a
it's not
Dell
millions
question.
of
We've
dollars.
looked at it. The big cost on that end is the mailing and the stenographer and the hearings.
Yeah.
So we won't have that cost. So the permit was, or the application fee was to cover that. We'll still get the permitting fees on the engineering and all
But
of that
not
kind
the
of stuff.
application fee?
Not
Just
the
permit.
application, exactly.
Yeah, there won't be any zoning fees since it's a permitted use. All of our fees will be building permit, stormwater permit, and those type of fees.
But again, ZBA and PZA have to hear this change in order to decide, but that's what we're recommending, and I don't, you know, as an executive committee, obviously you should know and have input there, but I just don't see a reason to frustrate people unnecessarily and incur all that cost. I'm sure the permit fee doesn't cover the cost of what we do, it just takes a bite out of it. So,
Yeah.
you see my point?
Yeah, but they count on fees down there to pay the bills and,
But if there's no expense, then there's no bill.
okay.
That's what we're saying. Why go through all that expense when it doesn't matter?
There's no such thing as no expense.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Dell's costly, believe me. Yeah.
it's law now, so we are adjusting our ordinance accordingly.
Yeah.
If these new bills come to fruition, we will adjust it again.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. I think the House bill will be the one that ends up being the one that
And-
wins the day, if you will. So,
Expect that to be like public in the paper and stuff like that, or is it just gonna be one of them midnight things?
haven't worked for them in a long time. I have no idea.
I mean, they usually sign things at 4 a.m, don't they? When nobody
Well,
else is
yeah,
around?
I don't know if this is one of those, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is a trailer bill, if you will. This is something to fix the current thing, so sunshine might be exactly what is needed
Okay.
instead of in
Clouds.
the veil of darkness.
We get rid of
Sorry,
the
there's a lot
director.
going on down there. There's actually a FOIA law or bill, I don't know where it's at, but it would force the counties to map all of their databases so people could actually have us run queries based on a FOIA. I don't know if anybody knows how costly that is. If anybody's been involved with the courthouse project, the real cost is mapping all the data. That's millions of dollars. Of course, they don't say who's going to pay for it. I mean, I believe in the Freedom of Information Act, but I mean, that's a little, we're creating documents at that point, basically, for people. And that's not really what the intent was. So we'll
You had
see.
to hire somebody just to do that.
Forever. It would not, it would be, again, they're not offering to pay for it. I don't know where that's going, but it's a problem, so.
Thank you.
So, under Information Services, Mr. Duval, do you have anything today, sir? Yeah, it's fine.
I want to make sure I'm available to you if you have any questions. We're doing our normal businesses. We've been pretty much in every office. We're also taking advantage of the construction in the courthouse to do some rewiring while it's open. They've now hung the drywall now, so they're moving along pretty good. There'll still be plenty of stuff to go around. For those of you who are following the courthouse software project, with an update on that is Jason had his first virtual meeting with Tyler last Friday. It was a strong meeting. They gave some assignments to him, which was to go into each department involved in the process, find out their contact person, and then they're going to schedule in the next week or so meetings, virtual meetings with those individuals so they can map out how they're going to proceed proceed so everybody knows their part. They're sending out documents the next few days to those departments saying the information they need so we can get along with the conversion. We're trying to stress to Tyler, and they've done this a lot, is we want to get about the business of doing the conversion. That's going pretty well. They are still yet to put together all of their team because some of the people that they want are actually finishing up on the Cook County project, which is to our benefit. So they're in the largest county right now in Illinois, so we know whatever they do there, we're gonna just only benefit from. And to the point, they were kind of surprised that we were as far along as we are. Andy had gotten me some spec sheets earlier, December, maybe that was.
Yeah.
We were able to, because you gave me the spec sheet and the contact person, I was able to talk to the people. Well, they were surprised that we already have all the servers up and ready. They said normally they're waiting weeks or months from this point on from the local, for the counties to actually acquire their equipment. We already have it in place. So now they should be able to, once they have all their team and our team together, to move forward. I don't know that that's going to change the timeline, but at least we're farther along than they thought we would be at this process. So
the going forward, and it may start next month, but the first time that Jason has the opportunity, we'll add him to this agenda to kind of talk about where things are going. We'll talk about if it's this agenda or if it's criminal justice.
I didn't know if you wanted to, since all the departments are in the criminal justice, that might be
the best place, but you'll be getting information either from that or in this committee through Kevin. So if there's something that has to be, that falls in those couple of weeks between, then Kevin will take it and let us know in this meeting. So, but I think Jason probably is better for criminal justice. What do you think?
Yeah, because all the questions will be in there, and
right,
a lot of you are on the criminal justice, so
yeah,
however you guys want to proceed is how we'll do it.
Sounds good. Any questions for Kevin? Thank you, sir. Take care. Health Department, Mr. Beavis. You guys monthly update in the packet. Is there anything that you have just of special import?
I don't really have anything new. I provided the report, so it's in there. I provided a little bit of information about some grants that we have. It's grants that we have always had. It was just informational. I'll entertain any questions. I know that there's a lot on the agenda today for the other meeting too.
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions for Health Department? Mr. Hunter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. John, just a question regarding those grants that you have. Will there be interface with the public in terms of advertising some initiatives that those grants entail?
Not specifically. Basically, the grants require that we have a comprehensive program for the inspection of all the restaurants in the community, so that's available to the public in regards to the work that we do under Freedom of Information.
But not everybody's going to do that, John. How are you going to promulgate the information as to what the grants entail? How are you going to get it out to the public?
You mean the program that the grant is funding?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Like billboard,
whatever.
Well,
radio.
These are not new grants. We've been doing these since 1987.
That's not my question, John.
I'm sorry, sir.
What I'm saying to you, how will you get that information out to the general public?
I can share it on social media and Facebook.
Okay. Are there any other methodologies or avenues which you will utilize?
Love to talk to you and see what you suggest.
We will talk. And I just want to get you on the record, John, because there's some concerns that I have. Board Member Foster has as well too, and I don't want to bring air dirty linen here, but we got to do better in terms of interfacing with minority media, and that's all I'm saying. That's my bottom line. Thank you very much.
Mr. Carrico.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I just want to add a couple of things here. There will be some events happening, and that will be actually sponsored by the Health Department. One of them is the Adolescent Wellness Visit Clinic. That will be on Saturday, April 15th, starting at 9 o'clock. That is, Mr. Beavis can also add something into that. And I think they can do school physicals along with it.
Yeah, that's part of our adolescent health grant that we have, and one of the deliverables that we had written into that grant was to work with 2 schools that had reached out to us. One is Illinois State University, the other is Olivet Nazarene University here in Kankakee County. And each of those schools will have 2 clinics with the health department on Saturdays to help facilitate basically the youth wellness visits, or physicals is another phrase for these individuals that would need to have these parents that need to have this done as part of the school process. And then it gives an opportunity for training for the nursing program to kind of get experience working with the youth, because they don't really get that experience within their schooling. So this is the second one that we've done. It'll be April 15th, and then we're working with ONU to schedule their 2 dates.
Okay, and I believe that the flyers that are being distributed also will have English and Spanish, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and I guess the other one that I'd like to highlight would be another event that the health department will be part of it, which is a food service presentation, which will be on April 4th at the Kankakee Library. That will be an English one, and then on May the 2nd will be in Spanish, is that correct?
That is correct. That's working in a collaborative effort with I believe it's the ECDA of the city of Kankakee that reached out to us, asked us to provide that information for them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for John? Comments? Thank you.
Thank
John,
you.
Appreciate it. Next up is schools. Mr. Pat Kunis, are you here today? No, didn't see him come in. Alrighty, moving on. And the VAC monthly report from Karen Smetansky. Is there a motion to put it on file, please? Mr. Eckhoff, Mr. Featherling, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Looks like she's got something she's passing out here, so we'll hold on a minute.
I started one in the back and one in the front. I didn't get that to Kelly, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about that too, but I'll be quick. I understand you guys are packing in the meetings this morning. So my report is in there. The only thing off of this that I really want to point out is that's not on here is we do have a Veterans Treatment Court graduation on March 23rd. Make sure that if any of you would like to come, it is an open graduation. So Veterans Treatment Court, March 23rd. It's a Thursday afternoon, courtroom 300 at 2:30. We do like to celebrate our veterans when they complete that. It's an over 18-month program for them, and they do come out a different person. So we hope that any of you that can come will come. Part of what's on here talks about that I went to DC. It was a leadership summit, but part of what we did was we marched on the Hill and talked about the paperwork that I'm passing out is the Commitment to Veteran Support and Outreach is the CVSO Act. And I am encouraging all of you to talk to your congressional members. What this act does, it gives areas of low income more money. It comes from the VA. It would be money that was funded to the VA. It's $50 million annually over 5 years to help areas that need it. And I'll give you a good example. I spent the day with the state of New Mexico's director, and I went with her to her congressional leaders. She has 23 service officers in her whole state to do claims for all 150,000 veterans in her state. So this bill going through Congress right now, it has in the House and the Senate, will help her get more service officers throughout her state. She's not alone. This is the same thing for Wyoming, Montana, but also the southern half of Illinois. From Springfield south, we're a desert. We have hardly any service officers, not state service officers or county service officers. So this is a huge act for us. Last year, it was in the House. It did pass the House almost unanimously. There was only, I think, 18 no votes throughout the whole House last year in Congress. And it did not pass the Senate. It didn't actually get out of the committee last year. So It is actually in the House and the Senate currently, so we would ask you, if you're talking to any of your congressional people, that you would help us get that passed. And the only other thing that I would like to bring up, and this is about the state, the Military Veterans Assistance Act had a trailer bill that was just signed by the governor, and in it there is a part that says the county may, at its discretion, appoint a representative to the commission who may attend any public committee meeting of the commission. The representative shall be a veteran and may not have voting rights, may not hold any office or title of the commission, and may not be present at any non-public meeting of the commission except as authorized by this act. It goes on, there's a lot of detail to it. So, Chairman Wheeler, if you would like to appoint a veteran to our commission, we would so invite you to do so per the act.
Ex officio non-voting, is that what that said?
Basically, yes. So that is in the trailer bill. It was signed less than 2 weeks ago. So please know that that is an open invitation. Just let us know who that would be, and I'll make sure that he or she gets notice.
Okay.
It does not have to be a board member of the county board. It just has to be a honorably discharged veteran of any military branch. And that is all I have.
Okay. Did they say why appoint a non-voting member? I'm just curious. Just to report back
I'd be
to the
happy to
board?
send this to you. It doesn't really
Well,
say.
it's not going to say why in the bill, but
It
usually
does.
the legislators say why.
I did not hear any of that.
Okay. All right. I will definitely, I don't know, if someone were to say, we want you to join the commission, but we don't want your vote, it's a little bit like, why am I here? But anyway, that's okay. Somebody may look at it as an honor, and I will approach it from that aspect. Because obviously we're going to do what we're asked to do. So, Mr. Hunter? Yeah.
Very much, Mr. Chairman. Karen, I got my, if you're going to do an on-site in Albuquerque or Santa Fe, I have my Lobos cap here, and I'd like to accompany you doing on-site. But
Well, I will tell you from that whole thing, when I spent the day with the New Mexico State Director, she got a phone call from her governor's office that evening, and he is giving her $20,000. Just pure, simple.
I
Here's
can show you around
$20,000.
Central Avenue and
It's,
Santa Fe and everywhere.
That's his alma mater.
Yeah, I hope as part of the training team for our national association that we're going down there and doing a tribal training, hopefully over the summer. So I do hope to get to go. I'll have to let you know.
Okay, good enough. Also, NAMVETS are having an affair, the Black Veterans, that was it, 17th?
March 18th.
Yeah, 18th, so I assume you'll be there, right?
Do you have a flyer? 'Cause
I do
brought
not
this
have
to
a
you.
flyer, but if you have some, I'll be happy to take some. We have our board meeting this evening. I would be happy to pass that out this evening.
Okay, what time?
Our board meeting is tonight at 6 p.m.
All right.
We'd like to see you out there, for that.
Sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Comments? Awesome, thank you. County Administrator report. Anita didn't really have much to share because she's obviously up to her eyeballs in work, but and current things to go. Is there any questions for Anita about what's going on in her area? So if not, then we'll move on. I have some appointments, reappointments, resignations. These are all appointments. I'll read. Susan Mosier to the Pilot Township Fire Protection District. Stephen Sanders to the Pilot Township Cemetery Association. Judy Whittheft to the Pilot Township Cemetery Association. Gary Wright, or is it Jerry? I apologize if I butchered that. To the Pilot Township Cemetery Association. Robert Voss to the same, Pilot Township. Kevin Sanders to the same, Pilot Township Cemetery. Denise Sanders, Pilot Township Cemetery Association. Appointment of Drew Wright to the Pilot Township Cemetery Association. How many board members I got? Anyway, I'm kidding. Pilot Ginger Hendricks to the Pilot Township Cemetery Association. Reappointment of Christopher Curtis, Tim Nugent, and Michael Bryan to the Wilcan Regional Development Authority. Is there a motion to combine and approve those? Mr. Miller, Mr. Eckloff, let's go with Mr. Long with a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have one opening on the following: McGilvery Special Drainage Farmland Assessment Review Committee and the Kankakee Valley Airport Authority. I expect the person to reapply, I would imagine. I've heard that. It's a board member spot, yeah. Kankakee, and 5 openings, excuse me, on the Kankakee County Ethics Commission. That's one of those that it's a good thing if they never meet. And so the last time they did meet, I was over a couple years ago, so we need to reappoint everybody. And we've had people move out of the area, so it's wide open. Just has to be different political parties. So there can't be, you know, either 3 Republican, 2 Democrat, you know, 3 Republican, 1 Democrat, 1 Libertarian. You know, they can't all be from the same political party. That's the stipulation. So, and then there's staggered terms. So again, just like every other thing we do here, if you got somebody, bring them forward. You know, it's really our job to bring people into the discussion. And I'll leave that alone. Any new business for executive committee? Old business, funny business. Adjournment. Is there a motion, Mr. Hess? A second, Mr. Featherling. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll start Finance Committee meeting.